G'day, my name is Joel Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat, and ahead of his fight at Eternal 85 on June 8th, I'm talking to the flyweight champion. I'm talking to Anthony Drilich. Anthony, I thank you very much for the time. How have you been today?
I've been good, thanks, Joel. Just came from training just then, so a little exhausted, but ready to go.
Well, I thank you very much for the time. What training was today?
I was at Scrappy and yeah, they're just running bloody doing rounds and getting me exhausted and pushing me and yeah, so a little dehydrated, but I'm good to go.
Are you allowed to drink this far out, or are they like you have to worry about your weight?
Uh like water wise, yeah,
Yeah.
like it's all normal. It will only be like the week of where obviously you got to fluctuate your weight with water loading and things like that. But yeah, everything's pretty much normal. Just losing some calories and yeah, keeping at it and getting ready for the fight.
Is it like was it grappling today? Overall MMA training? Like what are they doing to get you
Pretty
tired?
much overall MMA training, just doing like a fight simulator. So you know, sparring and air on and ground and pound and obviously other people got different names for it. I think I've heard like spider things like that. So yeah, just getting that done today. So yeah, pretty exhausting.
I can imagine. Well, talking about it being exhausting and talking about it being a fight simulator. The last time I spoke to you was before your last fight, where you picked up the second round finish to retain your belt. When you're doing these fight simulators, does it involve you knocking out your training partners in the second round?
In my head, it does, but yeah, we try to minimize that.
I'm assuming they put you in bad situations during the fight sim.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, like it involves everything. It just depends on the week, you know, and depends on the opponent. So it might be you might be starting on the cage, or you might be doing more like assault bike things and sparring, maybe more or less. It all depends. So it mixes everything and just gets you exhausted and ready to go.
Well, based on your career, I would assume that these maybe aren't the most accurate simulations of fights because, as I said, you came away with the second round KO last time I spoke to you, or before the last time I spoke to you. Uh, how uh, how was it, and how do you rate your last performance?
Obviously can't complain with a knockout in the second. So you know, the opponent I versed was, I guess, he started off different. It wasn't very conventional the way he started. So the first round was really feeling him out and seeing what he was trying to set up or trying to do to me. So yeah, but after the first round, I got my bearings and yeah, went in there and just put him out and got the knockout. So yeah, did my thing.
You got to be happy with that. I'm not sure of the phrase, like the exact wording of the phrase that they're using. I say they, Eternal is using for you, and I've seen with yourself. I believe it's the hardest hitting flyweight in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know what I'm kind of talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that it?
So
Is it hardest hitting? Is it most explosive? Like, what's the phrase?
as hard as healing, I think they've given me. So I'll take it.
Is that, did you create that or was that bestowed upon you?
I think that was my brother. I think he mentioned it or bring it like put it on social media or something like that. Then I was like, yeah, that sounds alright. I'll stick to that.
Nothing wrong with that. I'd accept it.
Yeah, yeah.
um, there was moments in your last fight where it felt like the man wasn't being as defensive as he should be when he's in there against someone like you, the hardest hitting flyweight in Australia. Did you feel maybe he was a little bit disrespecting your power?
I don't think he was. I think he was that like that's his maybe that was his style. Um, it felt like he was weary and trying to pull something out. Especially in the first, obviously with him bouncing around and doing all sorts of stuff and level changing and doing things like that. So I think he was trying to do the same thing as me, but in a different way. Everyone's got their own style. So no, I don't think it was disrespectful. I thought it was just him doing his thing, and I was trying to do my thing, and yeah. Then second round came in, and I think I felt him out, and I was able to catch him.
You mentioned, before about it, he was kind of throwing some or doing some unconventional stuff, and you just said then you kind of figure him out. When someone's doing something particularly unconventional, rather, as a fighter, like, are you in there and are you like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, what is the thought process?
Well, at that time, I really wasn't thinking a whole lot. It was more, how do I say? It was, I think I was just focused. I trusted what I was doing and what I trained for. And, it was more just distance management, things like that, and getting my timing in, and obviously saying that, he was unconventional in the way he was moving. So it took a little longer, I think, than I'd like to. Yeah, it was just yeah, obviously awkward, which is fine. It's good to have those guys come in and fight, especially, who knows I'm gonna fight in the future. So having a guy like that who moves different and flips around and all that and is very explosive, especially so early, yeah, it was good to have. And yeah, I wasn't really thinking a whole lot other than just trying to, yeah, find my rhythm really.
You mentioned there, you get the benefits of fighting people that are all different. Who knows who you will face in the future? He was not from the Australian scene, and this upcoming fight, you're fighting another guy who isn't familiar with the Australian scene. So you're kind of getting the benefit of fighting internationally without having to actually go internationally. Uh, how is it to fight someone who you aren't super familiar with? You haven't seen them fight heaps of times necessarily. How is that for you and your preparation?
It's fine, like they could give me a guy I have no clue about. I'll just have to try my best and do my thing and figure it out on the night. But most of the people I'm fighting, there is some footage or you know, you hear things or whatever. So you know, like you're saying, there isn't so much I don't know or seen, especially with these last couple of opponents. But yeah, I fight. I'm a fighter, so I got to figure it out. That's my job, find a way within my time. So 25 minutes to, yeah, put them out or finish them in one way or another, So yeah, I just do my thing and train as hard as I can, really.
You are fighting Max Lilly in your upcoming fight. Do you know much about Max?
But not a massive amount. Like I've seen a few, few fights of his, some footage and that. Um, dude's well experienced. He can strike, he can grapple, he can wrestle. So I'm really just preparing for everything and getting fit and strong and trying to find a way, try to find a way in 25 minutes or the time I've got to like beat this guy and not get knocked out or submitted. So yeah, every fight I've got the same kind of fundamentals in the way I do things. Obviously hit him and don't get hit is always a good idea, things like that. So you know, this guy is going to be the same. I'm gonna hopefully try to figure him out in the first or in the first minute or whatever the time may be, and yeah, either take him down or strike with him or whatever I have to do to finish this guy. So yeah, don't really have any crazy game plan per se.
Mentioned in there, you said, you've seen some stuff from him. You think he's very well rounded. When you are looking at someone and they kind of do present kind of a well rounded challenge, for you, what does that kind of become when it's not necessarily like, well, I can do this because he's weak here? Is it just, I need to be better at everything than him? Is it, this is where I do think he's weak? Like, kind of how does it affect your prep?
Also, yeah, really like every like every session is going to be different. I can't just obviously I'm not a boxer or a kickboxer, so every day is going to be different. I'm doing mixed martial arts, so I'm doing jujitsu and wrestling, and I'm doing some form of striking one way or another, and yeah, it just keeps me on the ball of things, and especially for a guy like this who is well rounded, I try to stay better than him really, and maybe I can find something that I can pick on, or you know I can put him out with. Maybe I can work on that, or maybe he's got something he's better than me at, and there's something I got to figure out and work on defending or whatever it may be.
Now, from our last interview, and also just if people know you, like, and you've kind of touched on it in this interview, you're a like, you said that yourself, you're like, you're a fighter and the job is to fight and that's the goal, and you seem like very nice, like, if I can say, I'm not going to pretend like I know you, but like nice guy, kind of laid back dude. You shared a post on Instagram recently and you captioned it, I'm coming for blood. And I was wondering if there's any more focused on this fight to do better. Do you feel there's something to prove heading into this fight?
Well, every fight I have from now on, well, every fight I have is always going to be the biggest fight of my life, you know. So yeah, I go in there and do the same thing. Go in there and prepare as best as I can, and yeah, that post is obviously I'm always going. I'm coming after blood always, you know. I'm going in there to do my job and do something that I'm very passionate about, and yeah, I'm gonna come after anyone who gets in my way, really.
Now, talking about people who may get in your way and talking about Instagram posts, you shared a post somewhat recently um, about how you've offered both Sean Gauci and Stewart Nicoll fights. I was wondering what made you feel compelled to make that post and announce that.
Also, I don't remember the exact date, but a while ago, obviously, um, I think someone bring it up, I think on Instagram, and they were saying, you know, why won't these guys fight each other and whatnot? And I wanted to put it out there that, you know, make it clear that these fights have been offered to them in the past, and for whatever reason, they were either cancelled or they didn't accept the fight. So, you know, it is what it is. I moved on, not like I take it no one really has. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to put it out there that yeah, these fights have been offered to
Do you feel that there was disrespect on your name regarding kind of this issue?
them. I guess to certain people, possibly. I just wanted to put the statement out that you know I fight. You know, I'm not trying to duck or dodge or anything like that. And yeah, I guess for certain people, maybe just to let them know what the goal is, because obviously no one's always in the loop, especially for the fans and people who watch, say, Eternal or whatever, maybe Hex, you know, all those other fight promotions. I guess they don't know they're not in the loop, you know. So I had to put it out there and just yeah inform people.
Since either that post or when you offered them those fights, was it like complete radio silence? Did you get any feedback?
Nothing, no. I just put it out there and just moved on. I don't really like let these things get to me or let the past, you know, get in my head. You know, I'm obviously just preparing for every next fight that comes. You know, and I'm not here to shit talk or anything like that if I can swear. But yeah, so you know, I put it out there and that was that. And I just went back in the camp and got myself prepared for my next fight, which is obviously Max. So for me, no big deal. It's just what it is.
You say there, it's no big deal. It is what it is, and you've kind of moved on. A fight with either of those people. I don't want to use the word chasing because I don't mean to imply that someone wants that and someone else doesn't. But are those fights with either of those people something that mean a lot to you, or do you not really care?
I don't care. You know, I'm gonna eventually fight someone, whoever it may be. You know, whether it's in this circuit or hopefully in the international circuit or in the UFC or wherever it may be, I am going to fight someone. You know, that's this is the game. They're going to put someone in front of me, I'm going to fight them. So that's that, really.
So if your regional career ends and you haven't fought those guys, obviously you'll be thrilled if you're moving up to the world stage. That's the goal. But that's totally fine if you don't fight either of those guys.
It doesn't bother me one single bit. Obviously, my goal is not to fight the guys I'm within Australia. My goal is to fight in the UFC. You know, become something greater than just fighting in my country and hopefully show the world what I'm capable of.
Now, you are fighting, and we've spoken before, and I mentioned at the top, flyweight title. I don't know if we talked about this the last time I spoke to you, but prior to you being at flyweight, you were, from what I read, I think your pro debut was at welterweight.
Oh yeah, welterweight. Yeah, was 77 kilos.
So welterweight pro debut, had a run at bantamweight. I apologize if I asked you this last time we spoke, but what made you kind of go to flyweight and be like, flyweight's where I'm at?
That I can get to. But obviously I started off heavy, 70s, like, you know, worked my way down. You know, obviously I wasn't some, you know, full rips guy with a six pack. So I knew like I had body fat and I could lose it, and I was. So working my way down. Started at 77, then working my way down to the next bracket, fought there, and then I was like, I can lose weight. But lost more weight, and I just kept working my way down. And got to bantamweight, fought a few times, and they're like, I reckon you can get to flyweight now, especially after having a few fights. My body's adjusted to being at that weight, and yeah, I believe I could, and here I am, got it done, flyweight now. So yeah,
Now, obviously, jumping around weights, not necessarily jumping, but having a career where you've fought at different weights and kind of just been at different weights. I know some gyms kind of set it up all differently. Now, training as a flyweight, what are the kind of the weight brackets of the guys you're training with?
it varies. Obviously, I'm not going to be sparring or wrestling some big heavyweights. So anywhere from flyweight to like lightweight and everything in between really is the guys I train with. Sometimes these guys I'll be, wrestling or sparring, whatever it may be, who are heavier. But generally, yeah, dudes who are like closer to my weight is normally where I go.
I spoke to a teammate of yours a few days ago, Mr. Rod Costa, who is defending his title as well on this same card as you. Uh, Obviously, everyone's like confident in their team, as they should be. But you are obviously like talking about who you train with. You train with like the number one bantamweight in the country. Like that's
I
gonna
train with a lot of yeah,
exactly like that's gonna bring like some confidence where you're like, this is the guy.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, we've got people like Rod. We've got plenty of guys who are either professional or even amateur who are just like amazing, great fighters, or guys who are really good at striking and maybe they're learning to grapple, and guys who are really good at grappling and maybe not so good at striking. So we're able to like put these guys together as a team and like work. We just learn from each other and we just train hard and we have such like obviously great dudes. Like you're saying Rod Costa, yeah, you got a great guy like that, you're gonna learn something and you're gonna be better, and then thus like becoming more confident, especially like for fights like this where I might be in a grappling exchange. So I've had Rod, trying to rag it on me around for like this whole camp and previous camps. So if I can survive with him, I'm sure I can survive with this guy.
What's the feeling like? I'm not sure if this has happened before, or and if it hasn't, just what do you think? The feeling will be kind of out the back, where as you said earlier, like every fight for you is the biggest fight of your career. And then right after you, you've got a teammate of yours who's also going into what could be the biggest fight of his career. Like, how does that affect the prep in the gym? How does that affect like the mentality? What is that like?
I wouldn't say much changes. Even like say for like Jack Della, you know, he's amongst us. He just trains just as hard as he does when he was training for like a local fight than he is for now, like say Gilbert Burns. You know, we train hard, we work hard, we have great coaches. We obviously got Ben Vickers pushing us, and yeah, not much changes in the way of like you know what promotion or who we're fighting. We just go by it and we just work hard and do our thing, and then show the world what we're capable of.
How do you deal with like teammates fighting on the same card? Like, how do you go? I know some people get super nervous when their teammates fight. How do you feel when there's teammates fighting?
I'm sure that yeah, there's like nerves, of course, but yeah, I've done this long enough to where it becomes another day. The hardest, always the hardest thing for I think myself, and I'm sure I could speak for a lot of other people, is when they lose. We trained our asses off and pushed each other as best as we could, and those are the hardest days. The days where you know we're hoping the guy would win, but he lost. So those are the those are the hardest things. I wouldn't say it is the nerves of them going in or fighting. We're really accepting, and we know that this day is the day we're going to go in and fight. It's yeah, it's the loss. That's I think the hardest part.
How do you think Ben will go coming back after your fight, dropping you off and being like, all right, Rod, let's go make the walk right away?
It's not his first rodeo. Yeah, he's done this before, so yeah, he just does what he does and he just keeps at it.
Now, I saw a meme you posted on your Instagram story. It was someone else posted it, and I think you reposted it. Did you buy a car recently or something? What was going on?
I don't even know where that came from. I'm guessing someone just um can't remember his name, but yeah, someone made a meme of me. And I think that's probably the first actual meme that's been put out there, and it's about a car. So no, nah, There's nothing about me buying a car. I haven't bought a car, not recently anyway. So yeah,
So someone's just using you as a meme format.
yeah, using my angry face. Yeah, using it about buying cars. So and using who was in the background? Blake
Blake
wasn't
Richards,
it?
yes.
Yeah, it was Blake. So yeah, and using Blake as well. So yeah, I don't know where the origins of that meme comes from.
How does it feel to be a meme format potentially?
That's one I've had on me. So yeah, as long as I don't get anything too bad on me or incriminating, I'm fine with me doing an angry face and throwing punches and elbows at the camera and using that as a meme. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Talking about the socials, something I noticed, I was scrolling back through the Instagram looking for anything to bring up. And as far as I could see, the earliest post was from March of last year.
So yeah, obviously I had that as my like personal account, and I spoke with my brother as well as his partner and people like that, and we decided that we'll restart the thing, make it make it as professional as we could, and make this a focus on obviously my career as a mixed martial artist, and not just about me, random photos or whatever it may be of me sitting there with a beer in my hand or whatever the photo is. So yeah, we reset it all and got more of the five photos and things of that subject.
How do you kind of balance that as a fighter? I find it always interesting because it's a like fighting is a mix between actually performing and also like being marketing or whatever. How do you kind of approach it, and what is your kind of like thought on it all?
Myself, I just do me. I try to keep it professional. Both, I'm not much of a trash talker, or I don't. I'm a private person pretty much, so I keep it professional. As I'm sure everyone's seen on my post, I'm not doing anything too crazy. I fight, I train, I see my family and eat food, and that's really about it right now. I live a pretty boring life, but I'm disciplined and consistent in what I do right now. So yeah, I just do me and I just keep at it and put those photos up and try to get my name and my face out there for the world to see.
You're fighting in Perth. It's kind of the hometown. I didn't realize you're originally from Queensland, if I'm not mistaken.
Born in Queensland, born in Logan, and lived there until maybe I think it was about 12. Then obviously the whole family moved to West Australia, and yeah, here I remain.
Now, of course, you put on a great show, and if the UFC come a knocking, obviously you're taking that opportunity. Like, duh. Uh,
Follow us on.
exactly, of course, as any logical person would. Uh, but the next time, as far as I know, the next time Eternals in Perth, the UFC will be in town. Obviously, you're focused on this fight, but is that date something you're like also looking at?
Yeah, yeah. If they want me on it, I'll take it. I'll take the opportunity and put a good show on.
Of course, as any self-respecting fighter
Yeah, of
would.
course. Yeah, that's of course. Like I was saying before, that's the goal. So damn, if they need a flyweight at that date, I'll put my hand up.
And now talking last thing on the Instagram, I saw just before we started, there's a photo of you with like a new dog, like a puppy on your lap. What's the
That's
story of
amazing.
that?
That's Marcus McGeever. He's a coach at and Combat Sports Academy down in Mandurah. And yeah, bought a little puppy. I think it's like a French bulldog. And yeah, like I was like, I want to get a photo with it. Such a cute little dog. So yeah, got the photo with the French poodle and yeah, then decided to put it up. Nice photo.
It was nice. It was lovely. I thought it was lovely. Are you a big dog person?
I'm a dog person.
Have you got a dog?
Not at the moment, no, but yeah, I grew up with dogs since I was pretty much born. Had a German Shepherd, and I've had a couple other dogs, throughout my life. So yeah, I love dogs.
I don't mean to speak like out of the interview here, but this is three interviews in a row. Dogs have come up. Rod Costa. I talked about his dog because he posted a photo of him wrist locking his dog. And I just before the other day I was talking to Khan Offley and he's over in Bali and like a dog just walked past like into the frame. I don't know what's going on, but it's in the vibes right now, apparently.
I guess man's best friend, and I guess yeah, most people I know love dogs or they love cats, and yeah, so I guess yeah, dogs always make good companions. And
If the opportunity arises, what dog would you get?
always said I wanted to get a German Shepherd again. I obviously being growing up as a child, always had German Shepherd, family German Shepherd. So that dog was amazing. He used to parent. I've been told stories by my parents how it used to carry me by the back of my shirt like a little puppy and when we were babies, and take us around. Or if we try to like waddle off outside the front gates, it would come back and grab us and drag us back into the house. So I've always had good experiences with German Shepherds. So that'll probably be my first pick.
That's at top of the list.
Top of the list, yeah, yeah.
Anthony, I thank you so much for the time. We got a little bit off track there at the end, but it doesn't matter. I'm fine with that. It gets people get to know you a little bit more. The man behind the violence.
I'm happy talking about dogs.
Yeah, the man behind the violence. Anthony, I thank you so much for the time. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck in the fight. Thank you so much.
Sure.